Today, we're looking at the latest and last drop of B&M exclusive Doctor Who action figures for 2015, The History of the Daleks number 20 and Revenge of the Cybermen sets. Both are highly detailed 5.5-inch collector editions from Character Options. This time, I picked up my set from a local comic book shop called Collector Zone. Side note, Collector Zone runs an awesome toy and collector's fair. It basically fills an entire sports centre with vendors and private sellers, and it's always packed with a line right out the door. So if you're in Western Australia, I would definitely recommend checking it out. Moving on. If the contents of the Revenge of the Cybermen set looks familiar, that's probably because it's a re-release of the Forbidden Planet Underground Toys exclusive from 2010. I managed to pick up the original set a few years later after its release, and since then it's been quite tricky for collectors to get a hold of. Character decided to reissue the set as part of the B&M range of existing figures, but with a few subtle differences. Firstly, the overall silver paint job is noticeably shinier than the original. It also now includes dark grey detailing on the eyes and mouth, even better reflecting the gauze used in the original costumes, something that was missed the first time around. According to Character's creative director Al Dewar, the legs on the first run were badly warped, so they've been retooled here. As a result, the Cybermen stands much straighter and their pipes sticking much closer to the body. For those unfamiliar, Revenge of the Cybermen marked the less than triumphant return of the Silver Giants who hadn't been seen since the invasion in 1968, skipping over the John Pertwee era entirely. Hoping to reunite with the TARDIS after several weeks of misadventures, the Fourth Doctor, Sarah and Harry arrive on Nerva Beacon, an earlier version of the same space station they visited in a previous story. But all is not well. The crew are dying one by one from a mysterious space plague. The Doctor suspects a rat, or rather a Cyberman. Before he can investigate, Sarah is attacked and infected herself. The Doctor transmits her and Harry down to nearby Voga, known as the Planet of Gold. Meanwhile, on Nerva, the Doctor discovers that one of the crew, Kelman, is secretly collaborating with the Cybermen, who, now reduced to a handful of survivors after the fabled cyber wars, plan to destroy Voga once and for all, since gold is deadly to them. They capture the Doctor and the remaining crew, strapping them with cyber bombs, forcing them to deliver the weapons into Voga's core. On Voga, Harry and Sarah discovered that Kelman is actually a double agent, working with a Vogan Guardian to lure the Cybermen into a trap and annihilate them with a rocket strike. Unfortunately, the plan quickly unravels. Sarah returns to Nerva to find the Doctor, only for them both to be captured. With their plan foiled, the Cybermen instead decide to turn Nerva Beacon into a giant missile and crash it into Voga. As the Vogan rocket launches in retaliation, the Doctor manages to regain control of Nerva just in time, redirecting it and guiding the rocket into the escaping cyber ship, destroying it completely. In the aftermath, Harry rejoins the Doctor and Sarah on Nerva, only for the trio to receive an urgent signal via the space-time telegraph. The Brigadier is calling them back to Earth. Overall, this is one of Character's best sculpts. It really does look like these are scaled-down versions of the original costumes from the story. They've captured the 1970s flared wetsuit design beautifully, along with the corrugated tubing on the Cyberman head and reworked chest units. Incidentally, those chest units were actually created for the Moon Base and Tomb of the Cybermen designs in the 1960s. In fact, when one appeared at auction, it was found to still have the original Troughton-era parts underneath. We even built a fan-made replica of it ourselves. Articulation is the same as a standard figure, although the head doesn't turn and some of the external tubing limits movements. Aside from the heavy-handedness of the gold accents, which I'm still not sure were quite there in the televised version, it's a nice revision. Did I need it? Probably not. Would it have been cool to get new accessories like a cyber bomb or the control unit? Definitely. But again, this is a budget line and the extra costs likely went into fixing the legs. These may have been some of the least inspiring Cybermen on screen, with their almost untreated muffled voices, but Character have done a wonderful job bringing them to life in figure form. Joining the Cybermen are their longtime frenemies, the Daleks, this time from the 1988 story, Remembrance of the Daleks. Arriving in London 1963, the Seventh Doctor and Ace stumble upon a secret military operation investigating strange energy readings coming from a junkyard at Totter's Lane, the very same place where Doctor Who first began. When the soldiers are gunned down, the Doctor knows what's coming: a Dalek. After it's destroyed, he reveals to Ace that during his original visit to London 1963, see An Unearthly Child, he left something behind: the Hand of Omega. And now two rival Dalek factions have come to claim it. The renegade Daleks, led by their Supreme, have manipulated a fascist human group into doing their bidding. while the Imperial Daleks, commanded by the Emperor Dalek, who later is revealed to be Davros himself, launch a full-scale assault through the streets of London. In a calculated game of chess, the Doctor allows both sides to wipe each other out just long enough for the correct Dalek faction to seize control of Omega's remote stellar manipulator. But when activated, the weapon turns on Davros's instructions, turning Skaro's sun supernova, destroying the entire Dalek solar system and the Imperial mothership as well. With the battle over and the military counting their dead, the Doctor and Ace quietly walk away. Like the previous set, this Dalek death squad should look familiar. The Imperial Dalek drone has been released several times over the years, including in the very first 7th Doctor set in 2010. As many fans know, while the on-screen counterparts featured completely new casings, the figure reuses the standard Dalek mold, which makes it fairly inaccurate in shape and profile. However, the unique features, the dome lights, eye stalk, plunger, gun, and the hexagonal panel on the midsection are all present. Though this time, the centre of the eye has been painted silver instead of black, better replicating the foil material used on the original prop. Articulation is standard, the eye stalk moves up and down, the dome rotates 360 degrees, the plunger and the weapon arms pivot, and there are rolling wheels on the base. The Special Weapons Dalek is a more in-demand figure, having only been released twice before. First, in the Remembrance of the Daleks set, with the Imperial Dalek, Renegade Dalek, and Renegade Drone back in 2010, which has since become quite rare. It was later reissued as part of the Sound Effects Dalek wave in 2014. According to Al Duar, the base of the Special Weapons Dalek was modified for that release to include a sound button, and you can still see that separate hemisphere piece on this B&M version, though it no longer functions. Despite the inaccurate base, the Special Weapons Dalek is nicely realised, with its solid, battle-hardened look, complete with rivets that make it seem like this Dalek is not to be messed with. I've always wondered if this design inspired the gold panelling on the new series Daleks. As in the show, the midsection rotates and the gun moves up and down. Aside from the wheels underneath though, it doesn't do much beyond looking impressively menacing. The paint applications have been revised too. The weathering looks a little less intentional than on the original release, though the goal was to suggest that oil is dripping from the hemispheres, which is understandably tricky to pull off at this scale. The Special Weapons Dalek also made a brief reappearance in 2012's Asylum of the Dalek and 2015's The Magician Apprentice and Witch's Familiar, where its neck section was even seen lighting up with speech. Imagine the deep, booming voice it would have. Overall, it's a great Dalek. My thoughts on these sets are the same. If you missed out on the originals, absolutely pick them up. If you already own the earlier versions, you probably don't need them, unless you're keen on the updated paint apps or are a completist. Either way, they're excellent figures and solid additions to the range. In the latest action figure news, the next Character Options Online Exclusive has been officially released as the Anthony Ailey Master and TARDIS. And we've got one on the way, so look forward to that review very soon. And according to a recent podcast interview, Al Duar has confirmed some early release information for the entire 2026 range at the start of next year, so plenty more to look forward to. Thanks for watching, and until next time.